Oklahoma Sooners stayed perfect with a 7-2 and 6-0 record for Oklahoma. But West Virginia on their tail with the 8-1 and 5-1 league play advantage. Oklahoma with the 1-game lead, which is much. We'll break down the ball game, plus some tragic news on a former Sooner. But first of all, of course, as always, the Sooner Stumper. And it is, when is the last time that Oklahoma and West Virginia played with conference championships and national championship ties on the line? And the Sooner hint this year is that the teams met in the same season that they won those conference championships. We need to know what year that was. And I'll give you a hint. West Virginia also was not yet in the Big 12. Think about that one. Be right back. Welcome back to the show, everybody. My name's Harry James. We got so much in store for you. The Sooner Stumper, some tragic news, then the info of the game itself. First of all, we'll start with the Sooner Stumper. The last time that these two teams, Oklahoma and West Virginia, met with conference championships on the line and national championship ramifications, well, that would have been the 2007 Fiesta Bowl. It was number 3 Oklahoma, number 8 West Virginia. West Virginia won that matchup 48-28 in Morgantown. Just up the road is our Oklahoma City airport. And there was a tragic shooting out there. And Sooner fans, you might want to pay attention to this. There is one death of significance, you should say. It's Mike Winchester, former punter here and part of that 85 team. So pray for the family, the Winchester family there. All 3 of his kids played at OU. James, of course, was on that the football program. Walked on there. Carolyn walked on as the women's basketball player. And then the third child walked in as, I believe, a rowing team member to the University of Oklahoma. So if you're heading out to Morgantown this time around, just remember with this happening in Oklahoma City, it might take you a little bit longer to get through the security processes. So just be patient. You'll get to where you need to be, which is where, ladies and gentlemen? Well, eventually you will end, if you're going to the game, in, well, they call it Mountaineer Field or Millen Pulsar Stadium. And that will be the game will be between the University of Oklahoma and the West Virginia Mountaineers. The overall series is set at 6-2 with a 75 winning percentage. The last time Oklahoma won this version of the series, of course, it was last year in conference play, 2015. Oklahoma won that one 44-24 in Norman. The last time West Virginia won a set in this series was that 2007 matchup we were talking about in the Fiesta Bowl. It was a 28-38 win for West Virginia. This version will be Saturday, November the 19th on ABC, the national broadcast at 7 o'clock. The national broadcast with the national team, the A+ team of Reese Davis on play-by-play, the former Ohio State Buckeye, Kirk Herbstreit will be his color analyst, and their sideline piece will be Samantha Ponder. Or you can listen to our guys on the OU Radio Network, the TuneIn app, or so many more places. Look on your local listings where you can find Toby Rowland on play-by-play. Color analyst will be Merv Johnson, and on the sidelines will be Chris Plank and Teddy Lehman of Sports Spot 1400. And also contributing will be Rufus Alexander from the franchise 107.7 or 107.9 in Tulsa. This is the final game, the pregame setup. This is what the pregame setup looks like for this year, as you guys already know. Right in front of Coach's Cabana, for the home games, that is, that right in front of Louis' at Coach's Cabana will be Marcus Rogers from WWLS. He will host the show along with former Coach Barry Switzer, and his quarterback will be Thomas Lott. Those guys cover the game on Coach's Cabana. It's a great way to interact with with an OU Homer broadcast if you want to do it that way. For the home games also, you can head over across the street to the OU official tailgate party at the across from McCaslin Fieldhouse, Sooners Fan Fest. That's where that's held at. The Balfour Norman, that on Campus Corner, that's where Sports Talk 1400 is. Also on Campus Corner across the street at O'Connell's, that's where WWLS is. Or at the corner of White and Asp, where you have the Hertz Donuts, is 107.7 the franchise, or 107.9 if you're in Tulsa. That's the pregame. What about the game? The players on the field. Well, their points per ball game for Oklahoma has gone up quite a bit. They're up to 44.2 points per ball game offensively. That is 12th best in the country. They are at yards allowed per ball game. Yards allowed per game is 588.7. That is zero. That is fourth best in all the country of offensive production. Points per ball game, Oklahoma defensively is at 30.8 points given up. That is 169th in the country. And yards allowed per ball game is at 179th per country with 429.5 yards per game. The Oklahoma Sooners are led by Bob Stoops in his 17th year at Oklahoma. He is a former Iowa grad from 79 to 82 and spent all of his time at Oklahoma, all 17 years, combining for a 7.94 winning percentage at 185 and 48. That does include last season when the Sooners went 11-2, 8-1 in league play, and won the outright Big 12 title last year, aiming for back-to-back, by the way, this year. The Sooners' bowl record under Stoops is 8-9 with a 470 winning percentage, but the conference or divisional titles in the Stoops era, this is pretty lengthy. Has won in 2000, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2006, 2007, 2008, and 2010. Those are all Big 12 South Division championships. But what about their bling bling, baby? You can get as many conference titles, division titles as you want, but what you really need is the bling bling. Well, they've got a couple of bling blings. They had them in 2000, 2002, 2004, 2005. Not 2005, 2000, 2002, 2004, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2010, got back in 2012, and then won again last season in 2015, aiming for the one in 2016. Speaking of 2016, this is how 2016 went for the Sooners. It started on the road at Houston's RNG Stadium, where they lost to Houston 33-23, but they did get their first win of the season over ULM, 59-17, before their second loss of the year, 45-24. The loss was to then third-ranked Ohio State. The Sooners then went on that 6-0 run, including a 52-46 win over at TCU. They then won 45-40 against Texas in the Red River Shootout. They then finally got to come home and they won 38-17 over Kansas State. They went back on the road the exact next week and got a 66-59 win at Texas Tech. Came back home for homecoming and got a pretty good 56-3 win out for homecoming in Norman. They then took their big awkward Thursday night ball game and they took that one with passion. They won it 34-24 over in Ames at Iowa State, and then finally got a little bit of pump revenge over Baylor over the last few home game losses. 45-24 there was the final on that. Their opponent, West Virginia, who averages 32.22 points per ball game. Now, this falls them out a little bit to 73rd in the country, but their yards allowed per ball game. This is when you really need to take a look here. That is 596.56 yards per ball game. That's 26th in the country. Now, defensively allowing to give up, well, this is where they really, they give up just 20.56 points per ball game. That is 36th in the nation best. But defensively, they are 409.78. That's 145th in the nation. But it is the best in Big 12 numbers. Their head coach, Dana Holgorsen, in his 6th year at West Virginia. West Virginia this year, 8-1, 5-1 in league play. Under Dana Holgorsen, West Virginia has a 44-29 record. That is a 6.03 winning percentage. It does include an 8-5 year last season and a 4-5 conference record. That ties them, last year at least, with Texas and Texas Tech in conference play. Bowl games in the Stoops era. Dana Holgorsen is 2-2 in that era. In bowls, that's right at 500. But conference or divisional championships in the Stoops era, 2003, 2004, 2005, 06, 2010, and 2011. And aiming for 2015. Because their West Virginia Mountaineers of 2016, of course, are 8-1. But they are 5-1 in Big 12 play. They started at home against Missouri, got a big 26-11 win out there. They then played Youngstown State, coached by former Nebraska coach Bo Pelini, got a big 38-21 win there. They then played a neutral site game in FedEx Field against Brigham Young, got a big 35-32 win there. They then beat Kansas State. They beat them by a final score. Are you ready for this one, guys? 16-17. Beat them by 1 point. They then took care of Texas Tech in Lubbock, 45-22. They then took care of TCU, 34-10. They then lost their one and only conference game this year and their one and only game this year, 37-20 to Oklahoma State in Stillwater at Oklahoma State. They then came back home 2 weeks ago and got a big-time win there, 41-21 over Kansas. And then went on the road to Austin last week and got a big-time win there, 24-20. This is going to be an awesome game, boys and girls. I hope you guys are planned. Hope you guys are seated well. I hope you guys are ready for this. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. And it's going to be, hopefully, a win for Oklahoma. All right, one final time. First of all, the thoughts and prayers, of course, with the Winchester family at this time. And with that being said, I will sign off. My name is Harry James. You can find me on Facebook, Harry James Taylor, or tweet me at Sooner_fan_OK. Thanks for watching, everybody, and Boomer Sooner, Boomer Sooner, Boomer Sooner!